Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? We got UFC 313 coming up this weekend. Gonna be going through the card from bottom to top. So let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. I got Chris Gutierrez here by decision. I don't think he's gonna end up getting any sort of closeness to getting a finish against John Castaneda. I believe they're both going to kind of keep it even on the feet, and Chris Gutierrez is going to be the one that kind of either gets a majority or really close decision against John Castaneda. Should be a fun fight, though. Should be a lot of dynamic striking and stuff. Chris Gutierrez is just going to be more active and throwing a lot more jabs and other, poking little strikes and stuff like that against John Castaneda. But yeah, Chris Gutierrez by decision. Next, moving up, we got Jordan Santos versus Ozzy Diaz. We got a newcomer coming in off of his debut off of Dana White Contender Series. I don't like Ozzy Diaz's last loss being so brutal of a knockout. I believe it was a KO against Ming Yang. Really not good to be coming up against a guy making his debut in the UFC when you're coming off of a loss. You're kind of getting set up by the UFC for them to promote this guy over you. So, unfortunately, I got Jordan Santos round 1 or round 2 KO or TKO against Ozzy Diaz. I mean, not unfortunate. Unfortunate for Ozzy Diaz, but not unfortunate for me, who's probably going to end up getting this pick right. Because I normally keep a pretty positive record. I was 6-4 on my last card of the UFC Fight Night, Cop versus Almabayev. So, yeah, I'm getting the picks down pretty good. Next I got Myron Santos versus Francis Marshall. I'm picking Myron Santos by round 1 or round 2 KO or TKO. Really great record, and as you can see here, he has 8 wins by knockout. Really dangerous striker on the feet. Francis Marshall just, I know he's 8-2, but he's a little bit mid, if I'm going to be honest. And this is again another setup fight for the UFC to promote Myron Santos over Francis Marshall. Expect Myron Santos to get it done early. If he doesn't get in round 1, I believe he'll get it done in round 2. Very explosive striker. They have very similar reach and stuff, but from what I've seen, Myron Santos is just going to be faster and more explosive. And I think he's going to end up catching Francis Marshall. Moving up, we got Alex Morono versus Carlos Leal. Now, unfortunately for Alex Morono, he's kind of at the end of his career. I know these guys are both coming off of losses, but Alex Morono, man, he's getting up there in age, man. I really am surprised that he's still around in the UFC. I mean, I think when was the last fight that he's even won? Against McGee. But as you can see here, I mean, he's just had a very wishy-washy career as of late. I can't believe I forgot he took Buckley to decision. But other than that, you know, he's been kind of at the twilight of his career. I know his last couple fights were decisions and split decisions and stuff, but yeah, I got Carlos Leal, but getting it done in round 2 or round 3 KO or TKO. Alex Morono is just too much of a vet to get taken out in round 1. At least that's up my opinion. So expect Carlos Leal to get it done in round 2 or round 3 by KO or TKO. I don't know why I say KO or TKO. KO/TKO. Next, moving up, we got Bruno Pereira versus Armen Petrosyan. Armen Petrosyan just coming off of the loss to forget his name, Shout Bullet. He got KO'd by a vicious 2-time spinning back elbow fist, whatever it was. It was like connected on his forearm, elbowish kind of. Brutal knockout, absolutely brutal. He's kind of getting to that spot where, his career's looking a little bit dicey. 9-3 isn't too bad, but now 9-4 is like, oof. Getting a little bit up there. Bruno Pereira, he's a brawler. I think that he's gonna get it done. He's got much more of a chin on him, at least from what I've seen against Armen Petrosyan. Surprising he's an underdog, honestly. This is a good underdog to pick, and I would expect him to get it done in round 1 or round 2 by KO or TKO. Moving on to Joshua Van versus Ray Taisura. Taisura. I got Joshua Van. The odds makers see it as well for Joshua Van, and he's just, even though he's coming off of I believe, he's coming off of a win. I forgot who he beat last. Oh yeah, Durden. Durden sucks though, which sucks. But I got Joshua Van. I think he gets it done. Round 1 to round 2 KO or TKO. Although Ray Tesura is undefeated and he's decently good in the grappling department, the stand-up is just not really there from what I've seen. And I think Joshua Van is going to end up chin-checking him and putting him down in either round 1 or round 2. Moving up, man, they keep doing Curtis Blades dirty, man. Absolutely dirty. I know his last loss was to Tom Aspinall. Man, you have him lose to Tom Aspinall, and then you match him up against Rizvan Kanuyev. First of all, dude's an absolute blob, and not only is he a blob, but he's also a steroid cheat. His only notable win that I know of is against Renan Ferreira. But other than that, the dude is like, I don't know. I can't trust him. Can't trust him at all. And being a steroid cheat too is just never a good look. Not only is it not a good look, but you took steroids and you're out of shape. You look terrible. I got Curtis Blades by round 1 KO or TKO. I expect a similar finish to Jailton Almeida, where a guy shoots in on a shot maybe, and he just kind of elbows him to the side of the head. I haven't really seen much of Rizvan Kuniev, honestly. I know he beat Renan Ferreira, but Renan Ferreira also sucks. I'm gonna be honest. That Ngannou fight was kind of a total mismatch. Ngannou just blew through him, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Moving up, got Bobby King Green versus Marcio Ruffy. I can't believe that he got the King Green on here. That's so hilarious. I know Bobby Green. I love him. I'm sure everyone else loves Bobby Green. Very entertaining fighter. Fortunately, he is also at the end of his career. I believe he's, how old is he? Does it say? I know he's 36 or 37. Unfortunately, he's just had kind of a back and forth kind of career as well. He can't keep a consistent win streak. Marcio Rufi, very dangerous striker. I think he's going to end up catching Bobby Green. Not in the first round, because I think Bobby Green's going to play a little bit safe, especially after the Paddy Pimblett loss, where he kind of rushed in a little bit too fast. He might play it a little bit safer. But I think Marcio Rufi is just going to end up finally tracking him down in either round 2 or round 3, taking him out. So yeah, Marcio Rufi by round 2 or round 3, KO or TKO. Moving up to our lone women's fight, we got Amanda Lemos versus, I want to say, Isman Luciendo. Don't know how to pronounce that really. But I got Isman Luciendo against Amanda Lemos. Amanda Lemos too has just been incredibly mid. Isman Luciendo, I believe she's on a little bit of a win streak, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so she's be some good competition. I know her last 2 fights were by decision, but she did submit Polyana Viana, and I consider that a decent win. And yeah, I think she's a little bit younger than Amanda Lemos as well, coming off of a good momentum swing. I think she's probably going to get it done by a decision. If not, probably submission in round 3. Possibly round 2, but I'm not betting on a round 2 submission against Amanda Lemos. Although she's mid, she's still a veteran, and, I think she's going to be able to survive round 1 and 2. Round 3, though, she's going to be a little bit shaky, and I think Isman will be able to maybe take her back, submit her, or she'll just get it done by decision, probably with superior octagon control and grappling against the cage. Moving on, Jalen Tenner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. I got Ignacio Bahamondes. Jalen Turner, I know he's he's had some good finishes, but he's also just like really, really wishy washy to pick. 14-8 is getting rough. I mean, he adds 14-9 on there, and we're getting dicey on records here in the UFC. Um, they're both the same height, so this is something Jalen Turner is not going to be used to because he's typically the much bigger guy. I don't know how he gets down to 155. The dude is huge. He's like a huge. He'd be a big welterweight. Honestly, I was gonna say 170 pounder, but just yeah, welterweight. He'd be a big welterweight, and yeah, I think Ignacio Bahamondes. I forget his last couple fights. I know he lost to Klein, but other than that, he's won his last two fights. Jalen Turner has just been very wishy washy, and it's hard to pick him in a fight. I think his most notable win is Bobby Green, but like that's not aging really well either. So I'm gonna go with Ignacio Bahamondes. I think he's gonna get it done in round three. Jalen Turner does have good stand up, and I think he will be able to withstand round one and two. But round three, he's probably going to be tired and kind of looking for a way to get out of there because he doesn't seem to have like that real grit, that real stand down grit, and just wanted to finish. There's been times where he's almost finished people and he's just walked away. So yeah, I gotta go with Ignacio Bahamondes by round 3 KO or TKO, or he'll get probably a majority decision against Jalen Turner. Moving up to our co-main event, Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. I'm picking Justin Gaethje to get this one. I think he can get it done round 2, round 3, KO or TKO. Rafael Fiziev coming in short notice is never good, especially against Justin Gaethje, who's had a lot of time to prepare. Plus, he's already fought Rafael Fiziev and beat him before. Rafael Fiziev is coming off of an injury, and his last loss was to Gamrot. I don't think he's had. Yeah, I mean, his last one was to Dos Anjos in 2022. I have a hard time kind of being able to go with that. And against Gamrot, he got injured. I think he like blew his leg out pretty badly against him. Justin Gaethje's had a lot of time to recover since the Max Holloway KO. I think he'll be just a little bit better in the exchanges than Rafael Fiziev. I think it'll go very similar to the first fight, where Rafael's probably gonna land some better strikes against Justin Gaethje, but Justin Gaethje will be able to take him. I think he'll be a little bit more dynamic than last time for Justin Gaethje. In the Dustin Poirier fight, I mean, he got a head kick KO. When have we really seen Justin Gaethje throw head kicks? I think he's gonna add. I think he's been adding a little bit more to his strikes at the end of his career, and it's played out pretty good for Justin Gaethje for the most part. I know he's kind of stuck around at the top 5, 6, or whatever for a good amount of his career, so it's kind of hard to see him lose that spot against Rafael Fiziev, especially coming in on short notice. So for that reason, I got to go with Justin Gaethje. I think he could get it in round 2 or round 3 KO or TKO against Rafael Fiziev, especially if he's leg kicking really hard against that injured leg and gets Rafael Fiziev in a spot to where he takes a couple like brutal leg kicks and then is able to land maybe an uppercut or just some other devastating strike against him. Haven't really seen Rafael Fiziev get finished, but hey, this could be a first one for him since he's coming in on short notice, and I don't like that he's coming in on short notice. So yeah, gonna go with Justin Gaethje again, round 2 or round 3, KO or TKO, and if he doesn't get that, he'll get the decision. Honestly, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. Alex Pereira, round 1 or round 2, KO or TKO. This is really gonna upset a lot of Dagestani fans. Because Magomed Ankalaev, as much as he has the grappling, credentials or whatever, he just doesn't use them really. And when he does use them, he doesn't use them to really, finish people. At least from what I've seen, against that Jan Blachowicz fight, he wasn't able to get him to a position where he could ground and pound him really good. He was getting leg kicked almost to the point to where he couldn't walk at one point in round 2, I believe, against Jan Blachowicz. Had a really close fight with Alexander Rakic, and I just don't think anyone has the power that Alex Pereira does. at light heavyweight that Anakalaev has dealt with. Um, Maybe a Johnny Walker, but Johnny Walker sucks. Okay, he throws stuff so out of range and just so like if he had just a slightly better, if he just had any better timing, Johnny Walker could probably be a champion, and a little bit of technique. Again, Johnny Walker could have been champion. Um, but yeah, Ankalaev, he's also kind of been like, I know he's won fights, but they haven't been like really a big note. If I'm gonna be completely honest, let's go through a couple here. I mean, fought Johnny Walker back to back. The first one was controversial because I forget, like, I don't know why the doctor came up to Johnny Walker and asked where he was. I think it was a legal knee, but he had a draw with Blazkowicz. Um, had a fight with Anthony Smith. It was kind of crazy that they had him fight Anthony Smith, but yeah, I mean these aren't he didn't beat Jan, which is a fight you'd really want him to get a definitive win in. So yeah, I'm not liking that Magmadenka live pick here. So that's why I'm going with Alex Pereira. Dude gets it done. Left hook, classic left hook KO. These guys want to keep trying him. They want to keep trying to see if they can deal with his left hook KO, and they cannot. They absolutely cannot, in my opinion. Um, they all want to try though. They all want to try to strike with Alex Pereira. It ends up being their downfall. So I think Magmadenka live gonna go in there and try to prove a point with the striking, and he's gonna get caught. Probably pretty brutally too. Probably gonna be a situation too where he's maybe trying to get up and the ref steps in and he's like, no, it might be a little bit controversial, and people like, he could still keep going, blah blah blah, too quick of a stop. But yeah, that's how I see it going. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm a little bit sorry for my nose is dripping right now and my voice might be a little bit off. I'm having a slight nose thing going on. So yeah, not the greatest, but hey, trying to get the content out to you. All right, want to keep on this growth and moving forward. So yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day.